I'm filming this video today because it's a fault that I see amongst loads of my online students and the ones I teach in person. You're going to be able to learn in today's video how to take the club away from the golf ball in the correct manner. We're going to be talking about how the setup affects the takeaway, but then we're also going to be talking about how the takeaway then affects the rest of the backswing and also the transition. Guys, if you are new to the channel and you've never seen my videos before and you're going to enjoy this video, I'm sure of it, hit that subscribe button. There's lots of video content coming as well. Also, if you would like a golf lesson from me, the QR code is just here in the side of the screen where you can go onto the Skillist app and take a lesson from me no matter where you are in the world. Right, so we're going to get straight into setup. Now, a lot of players I see, and this is again, it's probably through kind of just poor habits and playing a lot of golf, and we get a little bit kind of laxy-daisy on how we set up to the golf ball, and it's very easy. I do it as well. If I play too much golf, my setup does start to deteriorate somewhat. The most common one I see is the shoulder line relative to target, which is now perfect, shoulder line being open, very open. It's almost like it's kind of a very relaxed position. This lead shoulder just pulls back a little bit too much. Okay, so straight away, what I would potentially tend to see, if I take my club away on my shoulder line, I'm taking it a long way on the outside of my body. Okay, and often when we see the outside of the body, we see the club face starting to open as well, and we start to see a steepened backswing. So really simple drill to start with. If you're like a low single figure handicap watching this, you're going to feel like a beginner, but this is something that I do on a regular basis, particularly when I haven't played golf for a few weeks or days. I just try and recalibrate. And there's nothing wrong with recalibrating, getting back to basics. And I think if you're trying to make good changes within your golf swing, the basics need to be kind of sound. They need to be in a good position to get you started. So I often just say, right, stand up completely straight, as kind of straight and as tall as you possibly can. Right, now open your feet so your shoulders can fit pretty much inside of your feet. This will be the width of stance for your 7-iron, for example. And now I want you to feel like you're bent, keeping your chest up and your shoulders back. I want you to bend from the hips and a little bit of knee flex. So right now, what we're doing here, from this position, we've got shoulders, hips, knees and feet all pretty much squared off. You will find that a lot of players, actually, a lot of people, general, I do it, have slightly open hips or slightly closed hips. We need to see osteopaths. Right, so stand up straight, tilt from the hips, feet so your shoulders can fit inside, bend the knees, and just allow the arms to drop. Now a little tester, very basic, very simple, club across your shoulders, and approximately should be aiming down the line of the target. We are in position, okay? That is the most important thing to get started before we start looking at positions, because positions are only relative to where they came from. Okay, now we've got the basics correct. The reason you're here for this video is to improve your takeaway. Now, I'm going to be adding some data to this video because when I do my coaching, I'm very data driven. Whether somebody I'm coaching likes to see data or not, I like to see data because it's factual. I like to see as much, the more that we can measure, the more that we can get right. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. So I'm going to be using the data on this to show those people that want to watch data how it looks. Some of you will love it, some of you will not, but we have to cater for everybody. So if I am the type of golfer, and this is the most common one, so we're going to go off common movements. Common movements will be that. The forearm will rotate the golf club on the inside of the takeaway. The shaft angle will be behind the body, and the face angle will probably be slightly open because of that movement. Now, that's a lot of forearm rotation in the swing. So if I set up here and give it that forearm rotation, right, let's see those numbers. So, we've got a lot of rotation. Okay, so a huge amount of turn within the takeaway here. As you saw, the golf club went very much behind my body. The face was open. Now, from setup, I had plus 17 of extension, and I actually increased it to plus 22. So what I actually did there was I opened the face more. So if I start with any number, let's say at the moment right now it's plus 17, that's impressive, plus 19, okay, very impressive. If I add to that, I am at now plus 35. So for the purpose of this video, I've almost doubled it, and look at the club face. Club face has gone super open. If I start at plus 18 and 17 again, and I manage to keep the face what we would perceive as square during this swing, we're now at minus 12. Okay, that's the huge difference. So we've gone from plus 18 to minus 12. So the wrist angle has got stronger during the takeaway. Okay, so from setup, the wrist angle has got stronger. We've moved into what we call flexion, which some of you may know as bowed wrist. Whereas on the previous video where I hit the golf shot, previous swing where I hit the golf shot, we added more extension, which a lot of you will know as cupping, which for me opened the club face. Now, this is again relative to, I have to caveat this, that it's relative to your grip. If you've got a strong grip, then actually we may need to add extension into your grip. We may need to add some cupping to keep the club face square. Something I've done with one of my online students as well. So it's important that we can understand how we're getting into takeaway. When you see your golf swing on video, if the shaft of the club goes behind the body and the face where the toe of the club appears to be pointing more to the right as a right-handed golfer, your club face, you've rotated this forearm and you've put the golf club behind your body with an open club face. Okay, how we fix that, and this is where my good friend Pete Cowen comes in, because we want to create a neutral takeaway, okay, or as neutral as possible from what we've now created as a neutral setup. So the position we're going to try and get into is the shaft of the club parallel to the feet, pointing at the target line. Now, what I would say here is when you get a golf swing that goes inside the body, flat, open face, the left hand has been very dominant. The lead hand has been the one that's rolled that golf club on the inside and open. Very rarely does the trail hand do that. So what happens is the left arm's working hard and the right hand's being passive. I want the right hand to fight against it as we do this takeaway. So we create an equal opposite movement which creates stabilization in the club face. I'm turning that way, I'm turning that way, do that together, and the face does not move. So as you take this golf club away, I want you to feel that your right hand is closing the face. Now you're going to have still maintain a bit of flexion in this right elbow. Okay, so we're in that position. The face now is pointing inwards, parallel to the spine angle that we've created. The shaft angle is parallel to your feet, and that is a beautiful takeaway position, because from here we can move the golf club into a really nice P2 position where the shaft of the club starts to get to around about 45 degrees as opposed to completely horizontal. Remember, if we go in here, we often then build up through the back and the momentum brings us forward. If we start to get this right arm to fight against the left arm here and we get equal opposite motion, we don't have to squeeze it, we don't have to strangle it. You could do this in a super light way. I'm barely gripping the golf club there. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super tense. For me personally, actually, as I caveat that again, I do strangle it as I do this drill because I want to feel it. I want to understand what's going on within my body to create that movement. So there's no issue with doing that in terms of getting your quality of practice session in. So I would go right hand fights against it, which also encourages the hinging of the wrist. So you see how the club head starts to work higher than the hands. I've now got into a position at the top of the backswing where my left wrist has stayed pretty straight. My flexion is almost at -1, almost 0. So I've only moved it 15 degrees from extension. Face angle is absolutely perfect. And as I start to come back down, I've got no kind of bias momentum of going forward or inside unless I start to make those issues, and that's a completely different issue. So as I start to move upwards, I've given myself the best chance now in this backswing and takeaway and backswing to create a relatively neutral transition. So you've got to get yourself into a position to create the neutral transition without creating poor momentum, okay? So my right hand is fighting against the left hand. I've got a little bit of hinge, I'm turning and I'm turning through. Guys, if you are into your numbers and you do like what you see, because I get a lot of messages asking about hack motion, is it beneficial? And one of my online students actually uses it as well, and he sends me his data from his lessons. Jump down in the description below, there's going to be more information about hack motion. They've just released a new sensor and they've just upgraded the app. There's loads of different drills on there that you can do to kind of help your wrist angles, but also you can do comparisons against tour pros as well. So they are just up in the game, to be fair. It's amazing. So all the details are in the description below. But now we need to hit a golf shot and compare and see the numbers. So on that particular one, I was set up at 22 and it flexed more during, so it closed a little bit more, would be maybe your terminology, to 12, whereas before, remember, we started at 18 and we added on to 36. So you can start to see there that we're actually trying to strengthen the face as we go back, as opposed to weakening the face. And we just get so many better strikes. Wow, that is a beautiful shot, by the way. So what we're able to do then, because the golf club's 24 plus 16, beautiful. Impact, as in flexion. So I had that shaft lean, I had angle of attack, I had the golf. That wasn't a shot. I had the golf club a little bit more in front of my body. It created a really nice angle into the P2 position. Because of my transition was pretty good, I came back down on top of the golf ball, compressed it with shaft lean and worked through. And all of that really, I do have a decent transition, something I've been working hard on, but all of that really is down to the fact I was able to start the golf swing on the correct plane, okay? So all I want you to think about, turn your hands against each other as you push the golf club away from your body. And notice how the face does not move. This is a drill that you can do on a daily basis, because if you're that golfer that pops the club inside, it's that motion that you're doing with your left arm, and the right arm is just being passive and doing absolutely nothing until maybe it comes into the downswing where it tries to rectify all the faults. Very simple drill that you can do on a daily basis to help you with your takeaway and hopefully make you a better player. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You know the drill. We say it every video. See you next time.